And on stage we are. Welcome back to the Quick Hands Rugby League podcast. This is the pod that tells it like it is. Season 3, episode 3. Welcoming in the team, George, Artie, welcome back.
Hey.
How are you, gents?
Welcome back, footy.
How good is
Welcome
it,
back,
Artie?
footy.
Cotter, welcome back, footy. How good is it to have it back?
Love it.
The real
It's
round
the
one.
best.
The real round one has kicked in. Now, unfortunately, Tanya's unable to join us again tonight due to the Cyclone Alfred situation up in Queensland. So she's okay and she's doing well, and we're hoping to have her back here next week. But she has sent through a little message that we'll play for everyone here.
I miss her already. I miss her already.
Yeah, you're right.
I miss her already.
She's got her hands full up there, but
Has
she's
she?
a champion. She's doing well. And,
Well, hope she
Go
goes
T.
well, man.
Yeah.
Hope she's all right.
and we hope to see you back next week.
Our thoughts are with you,
Exactly,
T. Our thoughts are with you.
Our thoughts are with you. for
First
sure.
lady of rugby league.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So we'll kick off with a couple of questions. Let's go to Artie.
Yep.
Artie, give us the good thing of the week.
The best thing of the
The
week.
good thing of the week, Artie.
I had the pleasure of watching a young fella called Ramsey play for St George.
Yes.
Now, this guy, 2 years ago, they said he wasn't going to play rugby league again. He's got that illness, colitis. Yeah. And seeing him on the field, he was sensational.
Really?
Playing in first grade, he looked really good. And this guy is just inspirational young man to put on the boots and play football again, which no one thought he would. It was a great sight to see, and he looked fantastic.
Did he play fullback?
He played fullback.
Did he look good?
He looked very good, but he's still a bit underweight. I think Flano's sort of hosed down that he'll throw him into NRL yet. He's not quite ready yet. But he looked fantastic, and he had a smile on his face. Just seeing him there, mate, was... I think every St George fan watching him would have loved to see that. It's just,
Last question. Does he still look electric?
yeah,
Just the
he
ball?
was carving it up, mate. If you watch some highlights of the New South Wales first grade, whatever it is, Cup, and then you'll see Jordan Ramsey, how good he played.
He had a severe case of colitis plus, Nicole. I know a little bit about that, and let me tell you, his life was in danger. Basically, his bowel was eating his bowel.
Oof.
Yeah.
So they had to stop that, and this is 2 years ago. So for him to make a return to any rugby league is a miracle.
The
Yeah.
first grade.
And for him, for them to be talking about first grade later in the year, and you know what? I think he's probably, if he gets back to his best, good enough.
I hope so, mate. Cody Ramsey, that's his name. He's a
yeah.
fantastic kid.
Yeah. So look, a good one, good first one up, Adi, good first one up.
We've got a second question.
What do you got for me?
Should I ask it?
Ask it for you.
It's about me. Who's in Nico's bin?
Who's in Nico's bin?
So these two questions are part of a new intro. Off the top of my head, I'm going to go with the Jack Bird hair pull incident. Was acknowledged as a hair pull, and yet nothing was done about it. I think that's
I
pretty.
didn't
bad.
even see it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, nothing much in it, but if it's being acknowledged as a hair pull, then you would think some action would follow, but nothing has. So it comes back to the typical NRL need to be consistent with.
Yes. Well, that's all we want.
Yeah, that's all we ask for, right? As Ricky Stewart would say.
That's all we asked for.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I just thought of something. Last week's show, very well received, Nicola, and why it just came to my mind is we know about our listeners in New South Wales and Queensland. We know we got a whole bunch of them in New Zealand and the north of England. We've got our first Japanese one.
Japanese.
You go and figure.
That's awesome.
You go and figure. We've got a little red spot.
Are you sure it was
That's
Japan? Are you
awesome.
sure it was-
Arigato.
maybe it was a regular listener who's traveling in Japan.
I think that's
and-
what it is.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's what it is.
yeah.
But hey, the little red spot came in Japan.
Wow,
I'm there.
you know. We've gone global. So
Probably want to tease mates knowing our luck.
we've gone global. Let's rip into controversy corner, and I guess the biggest story is the Dylan Brown story. So he's signed a a 10-year, $13 million contract with Newcastle Knights.
Wow.
Where do we start? I mean, as a Para fan, I obviously hate to see him go, but the minute I heard this like 2 weeks ago, I knew it was. There's no way you can't. You can't fault him for that.
No.
Whether you think he's worth that or not is a different story. I mean, it's a lot of
Beside
money.
the point.
But I mean, is it a risk?
Yeah.
He hasn't been, and he may well be, but he hasn't yet been that guy who takes control when Mitch is out. So I don't know what their expectation is, but a 10-year deal, that's a long,
It's a long time. Yeah.
It's a long time.
Well, look, a lot of people had their doubts with DCE when he signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
And now looking back, it's probably the best deal they could have made. So I'm hoping that's what happens to Newcastle, because I'm telling you now, we did have the same thoughts with DCE. Everyone was saying, is he worth
But he had
$1
won
million?
a premiership already.
Yeah, I know, still. But
with
you're right.
I suppose my only thing is, and we don't know, 10 years is a long time away. And
Exactly,
there'll be a renewal of the broadcast deal between now and then.
Exactly,
So the salary cap will go up, which apparently he has ratchet clauses. So, but with him and Ponga, that's $3 million out of the cap on two players. That's a big chunk. That's a quarter of the cap.
A lot of money.
How long is Ponga there? He's got another 2 years to go?
Not sure.
Another 3 or 2.
3 or,
years,
okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've heard a lot of, obviously there's a lot of bad blood coming from Eels fans. I'm an Eels fan. You can't fault anyone. You can't fault a 24-year-old. That's a lifetime deal. That's guaranteed money.
No,
it's $1.3 million a year for the next decade. He's done. He'll retire at 34.
You're only worth
what someone's willing to pay.
Yeah, someone's willing to pay.
And if he was, God forbid, if he was to have some career-ending injury, he's paid. He's settled. So,
no. He's pretty.
I hate to see him go because he's been in the Para system for years, and him and Mitch were supposed to be the future.
Yeah.
It's also cost Parramatta Ethan Sanders and Blaise Talagi.
That's what I was going to say.
But at the end of the day, it's business, and I don't get attached to players. I get attached to the jersey because players come and go.
Yeah.
Having said that, Mitch is extended for the rest of his career, so that's good. But it remains to be seen. It's a big benchmark because what's that going to do to the market? Is that going to become the norm now? So for argument's sake, Parramatta, are they going to go and use that money to try and sign a Lachlan Galvin or someone like that? Are they going to offer him a 10-year deal? Is that the new thing?
If you really want someone, by looks of it,
a lot of these kids are unproven and they're signing career-long deals.
Yeah.
I think the only other one I remember is Jason Taumalolo. And halfway into that, he's struggling to get on the bench.
I'd like the NRL to get involved and make, if they do sign a 10-year deal, there's no breaks or anything. They've got to stick with it. You know what I mean? We can't let clubs trying to get rid of him after 5 or 6. They've got to stick with the 10 years. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of clubs can just go in and offer him 10, and if they don't like him in 6,
I'd like to see the NRL cap every deal at 5 years maximum.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if you can earn a 10-year deal, why not? You can't stop. That's a restriction of trade, really.
No, yeah, I know, but it throws the doors wide open to. It's going to cause a hot mess.
But it's a salary cap, so it's going to cause them.
So
isn't that a restraint of trade?
Yeah,
I know.
So, what do you do if you need a piece and you're Newcastle and you can't attract a marquee player? Let's assume I haven't got him as a marquee player, but let's assume he's a marquee player.
They do.
I know. Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what they think. So let's say you need to attract a marquee player because they believe he's the missing piece in the puzzle. They say every year they're a top 8 team. They want to push up to the top 4.
Yeah.
No. They want to push up to the top 4. They believe that a half, or Dylan Brown specifically, is the missing piece. Now, I'm not going to say no. I believe it's going to make Ponga's life much easier.
Yeah.
Is he at the moment now, what we see, is he a halfback who can control the
He's
team?
not a halfback.
Haven't seen it.
He's not a halfback.
Yeah, they're bought him for half.
But he's not
Did
a
they?
halfback.
They're bought him for 7.
But he's not a 7.
Who's a 6?
That's what they bought him for.
He's not a 7. And
That's what they bought him for.
look at every game he's played without Mitchell Moses where he has played 7.
And that's what I'm alluding to. We haven't seen it, but they're going to.
I mean, forget about Sunday, but I'm talking about the past year or two, right?
Forget about that. They're going to put 7 on his back. There's no doubt in my mind, and they said it. They bought him for a 7. Now, the question, it's a twofold question. Is he going to enhance Ponga? Absolutely.
I think
And-
he'll
and can
enhance
I-
any
and can
team
I
he
say-
joins.
Well, they're specifically thinking Ponga because he needs to be freed up, and they're struggling to free him up. And I say it every week. Ponga is a superstar. Just put him on a shoulder. Last week, that poor guy did everything he could, anything and everything. He mopped up everything behind. He was first receiver. Why? I don't know. He was kicking. I mean, the guy did everything. He was a go-go gadget guy. So again, will he make his life easier? Yes. Is he the missing piece to make Newcastle a top 4 team? I'm personally not sure. I don't know.
It's a huge risk for
It's a
Newcastle.
It's a huge,
Like
huge
it's a
risk.
big risk. It could turn out to be a masterstroke
Mhm.
as well.
You could, yeah, absolutely.
So you know what, Dylan? I've seen enough of Dylan Brown to say that. Like I don't know, he could do anything.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
he's-
he's definitely got.
He's a very good
He's
5'8".
24.
24.
Yeah, so
Definitely got the potential.
he is a very good 5'8".
Yeah.
And next to Mitch, it's beautiful. It's poetry. So why can't he?
Well,
be
the
missing
problem
piece
is without Mitch,
there? Without Mitch.
we've all seen it.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
We
'Cause I
saw it
think-
most of
I
last
think-
season.
Yeah, see. Jerome might be a Batman. Okay, Dylan, not sure if he's a
Well,
Batman.
Jerome proved it last year.
He proved it last year to us. Yeah, he didn't prove it on the weekend, but he proved it last year to us.
Yeah.
So we've seen signs of it. We haven't seen signs from. Brownie. So look, let's watch this space.
Who do they replace him with? What do they do with that money? Do they? Because apparently what happened was, and this is one thing I commend. So one thing that Parramatta's been criticised heavily for, and rightly so, are these ridiculous contracts. They've been handing out
Clauses.
with the clauses and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all gone now, right? Because they've replaced a couple of board members and a new whatever, and they've wiped them out. They said no more. So Mitch, who had the same thing in his ones, agreed to extend for the next 4 or 5 years with no clauses. Penasini's doing the same. With Dylan Brown, apparently, and they said there'll be no more of those contracts moving forward.
Thank Christ.
With Dylan Brown, his management went to the club and said, we'd like you to make a counter offer, and the club said no.
Well,
You're free to go.
hey,
Like we're not even going to get close to that.
I like it.
So I'm happy about that.
I like it.
Don't want him to go, but I don't want to pay overs to hold on to him out of desperation either.
Well, I can guarantee you, none of the last year top 4 teams have got any clauses in their contracts.
Yeah.
Penrith hasn't. Melbourne hasn't.
Jerome
Cronulla
Luai
has
has.
Jerome
More
Luai
people.
has-
Melbourne has it. You'd be more than there's
Oh,
more than you think.
You mean that
where they can?
Jerome from Melbourne? You mean
No, Jerome Luai
has
West
with the
Tigers.
Tigers.
For
He can
West.
negotiate at the end of every season.
Yeah, I said top 4.
Can he?
Well, last year was top 4. Yeah, he's in the same. Yeah, yeah.
No, but
Every,
and I'm
every
sure
year.
that Melbourne has 1 or 2 as well.
Wow.
really?
Yeah, because
Mm.
I heard it on
Maybe Pappenhausen?
might have been the 100% footy. or
So
something.
because I heard on SEN the CEO of Penrith saying that they haven't had any clauses for the last 5 years.
and they shouldn't. No, they
for
shouldn't.
the last 5
yeah.
years.
Yeah. Penrith's a bit of a different animal because they've developed so many youngsters. How often do they buy externally?
No, they don't buy.
Look, it is what it is. It's a stupid thing because Brown signed an extension to 2031 and a year later he's gone.
Yeah.
So these clauses are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
Would Parramatta look at maybe spending more on and getting a top class hooker?
you know what? I would say
Just to
yes.
complement the spine.
But I saw a debut from a kid on Sunday at hooker that was really impressive.
Okay. Yeah.
Off the bench. He was really impressive. So we'll get to that later when we cover the games, but they certainly need one.
Yeah.
I think a 6 is more important, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel sorry for the Tigers.
Why?
Why?
Because you just took Mitchell Moses from him. I bet you Lachlan Galvin
Why?
is a guy as
Wait
well.
a second.
Poor
Now,
Tigers are going to lose.
Let's get something clear. We didn't
I'm
take
just
Moses.
saying.
Moses went to the Tigers
Yeah, I know. Moses
from
went to the
Parramatta.
Tigers, yeah,
he was
I
there for 3 years and then he came back.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Galvin was at Parramatta as well.
Oh,
and
there
he's
you
a
go.
lifelong Parramatta fan.
Yeah.
But again, with Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses, why do you think Ethan Sanders left?
Yeah.
So who knows?
It's a
I
shame,
do know
man.
that today, Galvin's manager. Can you both guess who it is?
Mitchell,
Oh.
Moses.
Isaac Moses.
Isaac Moses.
So today, Galvin's manager told the Tigers, we're not committing to anything. We're going to test the open market.
He's guaranteed. He's guaranteed Parramatta.
Get your checkbook out. So, I don't know.
I actually had
It's
this
there.
funny feeling he might be
I
going
don't
to the
know.
Roosters.
Yeah, possibility.
But maybe now that the
No.
window's
I don't
open for
Guaranteed.
Parramatta,
I don't know.
Poor Tigers.
I don't know.
What's Parramatta?
they can't take a trick. I know the poor guys. They can't take a trick. They can't take a
They
trick.
can't. This guy's the shining light. They're going to lose him.
No.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet. You don't know what's
I
going to
mean,
happen.
he's done nothing so far. So let's not
Yeah, true.
let's not get overexcited. But
Looks the goods.
well, he didn't look the goods on Sunday,
He didn't. He didn't.
right?
I'll talk about that.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, look, good luck to Brown.
Yeah,
I
good
just
luck
think, I mean, from the minute I heard the offer, I thought there's no way you can refuse
Oh, no.
this. There's no way.
No, there's
The
nothing.
only way you could refuse this is if Parramatta came close to matching it, and I don't want to see that.
No. And you know what? There's no knock on for the young man. He had an offer, he took it, and
Yeah.
that's it. And good on him.
the
More power to
timing,
him.
the timing of it just sucked for Para because
Oh,
if they knew earlier,
So
They-
apparently,
it just sucked.
yeah, and apparently he told the team on Saturday.
He told the ones.
Well, they went public on Monday,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
but apparently he told the team on Saturday as well.
Just
So
before the game.
that's great work there. Anyway, Francis Milo, he apparently is on the outer with the Dragons. And
it's
St.
on
George.
the outer. They stopped
Roosters-
paying him now.
Roosters are interested.
Yeah, but it's getting ugly. It's just no one's budging. He's got solicitors. He's lawyered up now, and both parties aren't budging. St. George want to recoup some money back. Apparently, he asked for a loan last year, and they gave him it. Now they want some of it back. But yeah, it's gotten really ugly, and they're both standing their ground. No one's giving up. And watch this space. But yeah, today we heard that he's linked with maybe the Roosters might be
Roosters.
interested because they're losing their forwards. So hopefully he might be gone there and they get a resolution. But it's just getting worse and worse, this one. It's
Yeah, it's
never
messy.
ending.
Also with Newcastle, Brayley has signed with the Raiders. I saw about half an hour ago. So I don't know if that's imminent or for next season. Jaden Brayley, is it the hooker?
Oh, Brayley.
Yeah, signed with the Raiders.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
So I don't know if
for
that's-
next year.
Is it for next year? Okay, yeah.
Apparently it's for next year.
Oh, look, he had some sort of hiccup, stumble there at Newcastle. He's on the outer at the moment. He's had 2 ACLs, I think. So maybe a move as good as a holiday for young Brayley. He's going to the right coach, so let's see. Let's see.
You were at the game.
Yeah.
Dragons Bulldog. What happened with the pie gate? The meat pie gate.
I know, right? Apparently, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. But apparently, there was some Dragons fan, and he put on TikTok where he got a pie and he threw it at the Bulldogs.
Of course you will. Of course you will.
It's on camera. Apparently, the
That's
NRL
ridiculous.
investigating
In
St
this
George.
day and age.
If they identify the guy, apparently he's going to get a lifetime ban at the NRL. Do they police something like that? What, does everyone at the gate have a photo? And not, how can you police
I
a
don't know-
lifetime ban?
Yeah, I don't know. They do it. I don't know how they do it. Because I just wear a disguise.
Exactly. I know. But yeah, apparently that's what this kid's facing when they find him. But yeah, the pies mustn't be that good, man, if they're throwing them.
I was going to say, I'll never throw a pie
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
There must be pretty sad pies there at Cochrane.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, apart from that, the atmosphere was really, really good. The only sad point about that game is when I was leaving, as we were crossing, there was an incident that happened at the Princess Highway. There was an ambulance around, and I think a man might have got hit or something, but I don't know what happened.
Really?
But I hope he's all right, and I hope everything went well and his family's okay. But yeah, it was pretty scary happening after the game.
Yeah.
So everything just came to perspective, about life.
It's just a game, isn't it?
It's just a game, but yeah,
And
poor guy.
for the fool who did the pie throw, I mean, seriously, get a social life. Mate.
Yeah.
Seriously, grow up.
Wow.
Act your age and not your shoe size.
Life's too
All right.
short.
Yeah.
So let's move into round. Well, it's round 2, isn't it? Really?
Oh,
1B. No, 1A, and
1A.
there's 1B.
Okay. So kicking off the round. Oh no, hang on a sec. Backtrack. That's Vegas. Kicking off the round, we had the Broncos, 50 points to 14 over the Roosters.
Wow. What a game.
Broncos looked great, didn't they?
They look good, and I'm telling you now that Reynolds-Hunt combination started fantastic. Reynolds was taking the reins, but having Hunt there as your second man to back you up, like when things go wrong, you've got 2 great options. They looked really good together, but my absolute joy in this game was the return of Payne Haas. I have never seen a better game from this bloke. Him and Carrigan were unbelievable. Those guys were just tearing it up. I feel sorry for the Roosters, decimated by injuries. They've lost a lot of players, and it's only round one. So I'm not sure how they're going to go for the rest of the season. But one shining light, they had a guy named Robert Toya, played in the centres, and he looked really good. Same with the other guy with a Q, Qantas, whatever his name is.
We call him Qantas, are we?
Qantas.
I've got to learn how
No
to pronounce
Qantas here or something.
Mark Qantas.
no
Mark
Qu-
Qantas.
No Qantas here.
No Qantas.
Whatever it is. He looked good too. So I
Yeah.
think these two will develop into top class centres. And in a couple of years, everyone will be screaming saying they're under the sombrero and they've paid extras. These guys are worth $1
But
million.
yeah,
And
it's funny. We were just talking about last week. We went through the list of players the Roosters lost and the gains, which were basically Chad Townsend and someone I can't remember. That
That's it.
That was so evident on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
they had no answer.
They
Like,
did
It was, and
They're very disappointing.
yeah, I know they've obviously got injuries. I actually I heard on one of the pods that they had to ask for dispensation to
Already?
injured players round one.
Already?
yeah,
You know, so
It's bad.
yeah.
I think Phil Gould did the same thing. He had to ask for
In round one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
you know what? Now at training, they do
They
full
train full
contact,
contact.
and now just amazing.
I think that's a
happens.
Penrith thing too. I think they might have started that, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Penrith thing.
Watching the Roosters though, I don't
Salted.
understand. I don't understand why they let two quality forwards in Satili, Tupanoa, and Terrell May go because they need add those two back into the team. That's a solid team.
So Terrell May, when I watched Benji Marshall's press conference, I don't think it was after the game. It might have been after this game. I can't remember now. I watch all the presses because I like to get the coach's perspective. And he said, look, we've had no issues with because the Roosters let him go because apparently they said his head wasn't in it. He wasn't focused on rugby league, right?
Yeah.
And Benji said, we haven't seen that at all. He goes, all I know is that he made a comment that he puts family first before footy, and to the Roosters that wasn't good enough. And Benji's made it abundantly clear we do the same thing here. I think everybody does. Some people
Yeah.
are just afraid to say it.
Yeah.
Family comes first before anything,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know what? It's a big win for the Tigers. It's a dumb, for me, loss for the Roosters. Tupanua, I think, went to the Bulldogs, right?
Sensational.
He's really good. I don't know.
Mate.
I don't know what the story was there. But I don't know whether he wanted out or not.
I think he got upset. They'll get in Fafita and they're going to not
Yeah, but-
re-sign.
oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And
And then
then-
Fafita fell through, and they
Yeah.
changed their tune. Sorry
Well,
about that.
Gus had already signed him.
Yeah. Okay.
Gus had signed him. Gus had done the deal.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
the Roosters. That's a balls up. I mean, I know Fafita pulled the pin on that, but
yeah.
you know that if your club, that's Penrith or Melbourne, that news doesn't leak
No.
until the deal's done.
That's right.
I know there's a 10-day cooling off period,
There is, yeah.
but anyway, big loss for the Roosters on and off the field, and we're seeing it. So
That's sad, man.
the Broncos under Madge, they look good.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Hey.
And losing Victor Radley too didn't help as well early in the
Of
game.
course,
So
yeah.
another big gun loss, you know. So that's three now.
Very,
Sam Walker,
very big loss, yeah. And he'll
Radley,
be out
and
for what, a couple of weeks?
yeah, Smith. Yeah, he'll be out for.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think maybe 1 week. It's a HIA.
Okay.
So I think he has to sit out this
they
week
got,
and
they,
he'll
got, they got it pretty easy this week. They got Penrith.
There
That's,
you go.
That's Roosters, yeah.
Georgie. Go for
So, Nicola, we've been hearing rumours that Madge has been flogging them. And Buzz actually is very concerned and upset
it. Yeah.
that it's all going to fall apart. I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a very fit, fast, dynamic rugby league team. And if you think Ivan doesn't flog the Panther boys every day,
Everyone gets flogged.
let me tell
know.
you what I mean, we've read the book. What Madge does to him is nothing compared to what Ivan does to Panther. So let's put that to rest. Number one. Number two. Welcome Broncos to the premiership race.
Yeah.
You know those big windows. You know New York City. You know those massive triple windows they've got. That's their window.
Been there 5 times.
And well, there you go. And you've seen them. So those windows, Nicola, are open and they take a long time to close. They're in a window.
Yeah.
Officially, they're in the window. This team was amazing. Let's forget the Roosters at the moment.
Let me interject for a second
Please.
because 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Parramatta were in that same window. Remember when they made the grand final?
Yes, I do.
But you know those windows that you unwind like that, and they only open that much.
Yeah.
I do. Those
Yeah,
little
those
ones.
ones,
Yeah,
the
got 'em.
little ones that
Yeah.
go like that, right?
Yeah.
That was it. Done.
Hey, still,
Yeah.
you got
Mate,
there. Wind it up. Nicola, and Adi alluded to it. Thank Christ somebody knows how to use Payne Haas. you tell Payne Haas
know.
you've got 30 minutes. Front load your efforts. Do everything you can. Rip and tear. I'm going to take you off and I'm going to put you on the last 10 minutes. Guess what happened? He absolutely destroyed, single-handed this
I
team.
saw it. I saw it.
And you know what? If you told me 3 months ago, I'm going to put Carrigan at front row to work the middle. Yeah, well, I would have said, so you're going to put in the best lock in the middle. You're an idiot. Guess what? I'm the idiot, Nicola. I'm the idiot. Masterstroke. Madge, masterstroke. So you've got a double bang of Payne Haas, and on that night, not only he offloaded, not only he broke tackles, okay, it looked like he had spider webs. And guess what? When he gets up, when a 125 kilo man gets up really quickly, plays the ball, rolling the ruck, guess who comes next? Carrigan. Carrigan comes off the fence, Nicola, and does the same thing. 110 kilo man gets up straight away, rolling the ruck. The defense is shot already. Now, let's forget the back rowers. When the two halves get the ball, okay, on one side, Ben Hunt, and the other side, what's his name?
They worked so well.
Yes,
together, didn't they?
it's like
and the young hooker as well.
We'll talk about him as well. And Reynolds get the ball and move across. There's no need for Penrith shapes and double runners. There's no need because the balls they're giving to some extremely athletic, quick young men. Dean Mariner. I've never heard of this Sakaaki guy. Who's that bloke? Have you ever heard of him, this bloke? This,
Shibasaki.
Shibasaki.
You know what?
He went
I know
to the
him
Knights
now.
and the Cowboys and then came back. He started at the Broncos, then went to the Knights,
And I've-
Cowboys.
Well,
and
guess
back.
what? I know him now, Adi. I know him now.
I've said this before.
Yeah, okay,
I've
I know
got
him
to
now.
I'm going to tell you guys. I showed you guys the photo before we started. We all know Tanya's reputation for first try scorer. and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So she got, and I showed you guys the photo, which she sent me to me during the game. She got Shipanyaki or whatever his name is.
First try
right?
scorer.
No, she got Roosters as first try scorers.
No.
Yeah. Then she got him. Then she got that Corey Pakes as second. Like
Corey
she picked them all.
Pakes.
Oh my
Very
God,
close.
that's
And
unbelievable.
I'm looking at and I'm going, nah, come on.
So next
Sports
week,
bet Tammy.
Yeah.
next week we've got sports bet Tammy. It's going to be a charity bet, and a friend of mine who Anna works for is going to jump on board as a sponsor. But anyway,
Nice.
nice. Just for specifically her, because I told him it's a charity bet. Anyway, so guess what? So Reynolds and Hunt take the ball, run across field, and give it to to Kobo, to Mariner, to that Suvlaki guy. And guess what? Who hangs around the back? A guy called Walsh.
Reece Walsh, yeah.
And guess what? If I'm in the defensive line and Walsh hasn't got the ball and is running, I'll be shitting my pants.
Don't forget, Madge had Reynolds when they won the comp, right?
Yeah, exactly.
10 years ago.
So, and
11
look,
years ago.
can we talk about that? So, a lot of teams play, and this is serious now. A lot of teams play structure and shape. There's no when you got such talented young men. There's no need to play structure and shape. Guess what? The middles crushed the other team's middles, and they collapsed them early. Okay, and when they went wide, okay, there was so much space. It was embarrassing for the Roosters. And I'll tell you what, this is the most embarrassing thing you can do to a rugby league team. When Ben went to short sides or blind sides and found joy, that's the ultimate fuck you.
Can I?
That is the I know as a rugby league player back in the day, if they got you on the shorts, it's like it's over. It's
Can I make an
the
observation
ultimate, ultimate embarrassment.
as a bit of a comparison type thing, right? And Artie would know what I'm talking about because you've got to follow the game.
Mhm.
In soccer, there's an old saying: you let the ball do the running,
Yeah.
right?
Gotcha.
And I see that when I look at the Broncos halves pairing, you got two of the oldest halves in the
They're
competition,
geniuses.
right?
Geniuses.
And in a comparative sort of way, the way
Yeah.
they play, they let the ball do the running.
Mhm.
Just by it's like again, a good midfielder in soccer plays in the center in the circle. in the middle of the field. It's like these two.
Yeah.
They just have this little patch where they control everything that happens around them.
Mm.
It was so good to see.
I
and I'm curious to see how it evolves too.
You know what? It was, me too. It was 14-50 or 50-14, okay? But I actually thoroughly enjoyed this game. I enjoyed watching Broncos.
Brisbane, yeah.
I enjoyed Broncos breaking this Roosters team down. Now, what can I say about the Roosters? Adi said it all. The two centres showed something, and the rest were, I'll be kind, they were very disappointing, Nicola.
Yeah, they were.
And they've got to show us something this week because
They're playing Penrith.
they've got to show us something. They have to win. They've got to show us something. Okay, because I'm going to throw it up. You've been calling for it. Or maybe Adi's. No, you've been calling for it. You've really got to have a look at Robbo now.
I was about to say, is there pressure on
No.
Robbo?
I agree.
think so.
I know, Adi, I know what you're saying, but it's been a while now.
It's been there, done that.
It's been a while
when he
now.
first got the team, they were down the bottom, and he's got to build, man. He's got to rebuild again. You can't have a good team all the time. I've got faith in him. I think I wouldn't get rid of him.
Oh, no, I didn't
Every
say
club
that.
will want him.
I didn't
No
say
one's
that.
talking about getting rid of him.
No.
I'm saying, is there pressure on him?
Maybe
There has to be to a degree. Like how much patience does Uncle Nick have?
Yeah. I don't think Uncle Nick's expecting a premiership this year.
No, he said it's a rebuilding year.
It's a rebuilding. So
I
Yeah,
heard
but for Uncle Nick, rebuilding's 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
It's not.
so next
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
next year.
No.
right?
Next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I think
year.
next year he'll be under pressure, but not this year.
Okay, fair,
but yeah,
No, I heard an interview with Uncle Nick, and he realizes it's a rebuilding year, but he still expects to make the 8.
oh really?
Yeah. It's for them. It's a rebuilding year. He thinks 9.
Tanya can't join us, but she hasn't stopped texting me the whole time.
Go T.
Gotcha, T.
Gotcha T.
Yeah.
And he expects next year to be in the window.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
yeah. Well, they probably will. They probably got something in the back
They probably will. But
background.
I enjoyed the game for the Broncos' sake. I don't want to touch on. It's round 1. I don't want to touch too much on Roosters, but Broncos, welcome to the premiership race.
3, 2, 1.
Yes,
Please.
please. 3, 2, 1.
All right, the 3, 2, 1. Now, before I go there, right, Reece Walsh, outstanding, ran for 221 metres.
Wow.
Right? How many do you reckon Carrigan ran for?
No.
242. That is amazing.
He's such a good
That
player.
is, in itself, is freakish.
Amazing.
But 3
Carrigan's
points went to
amazing.
Payne Haas for that game. He was back in his usual self. Reece Walsh got the 2 points, and Pat Carrigan got the 3. So
You know,
dynamic duo, those 3. These guys will be
Madge made history at the Rabbitohs.
Mm.
And they say he got pushed out because they were sick of working hard or whatever. They'd won a premiership for the first time since the 1800s, you know.
It's true.
You know, he went to the Tigers and just had a horrible. It's like you could see what he was trying to do at the
Yeah.
Tigers, right? And now he's walked into an environment where I've got the cattle on one,
Can I just
and you're seeing it straight away.
Can I just butt in? We often say that there's coaches that take you from the bottom to the middle,
Yeah,
and there's coaches that get you into the 8.
he's the top echelon, right?
He finishes you off.
Because you can see it. Like
We've seen it.
he's walked in,
We've seen
he's got the cattle, and
Yep.
for me, you know, it's too early to make any kind of prediction, obviously, but I saw enough
Yeah.
to say, wow, you know, barring a lot of injuries or suspensions or whatever, like they're going to have a good season.
Oh,
You know what frustrates me about this?
They're in the race.
Oh, they're in the race.
What frustrates me about this with Madge, right, is with the Tigers, we heard Kenty and everyone making fun of the Tigers board, basket case, blah, blah, blah. They had Cleary, then they brought Madge, right? Madge tried to do everything he could. The players weren't buying in. Player power kicked Madge out.
Yeah.
They said, not too hard, didn't want to do it, and they kicked him out. So the board gave him the tools to get there,
Don't forget for the first
but then
half,
they buckled under the
don't forget
players.
for the first half of his reign, he inherited a terrible roster. That's when they had signed Russell Packer and Josh Reynolds and all these guys on huge contracts, remember? And
clean down.
and he took that over.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know so he had to recycle that roster as well.
exactly.
It was just a shit show because the club upstairs probably hasn't gotten much better now.
It's
but-
only much better.
Well, the players
Much
went
better,
against
aren't
it.
it?
At the end of the day, the players got Madge sacked, not
But
Madge.
I always say that because you see it everywhere, right?
Exactly.
Players, they get one swing at that.
Yeah.
Right? Every club gets one swing
Yeah.
at that where, you know, if enough people are whinging, the club might listen and go, yeah, maybe there is something wrong with the coach. But you can only do that once. You can't do it with the replacement. Right?
Well, you know what I was worried about with Madge taking over, they did a similar thing to Seabold. Didn't Seabold cop the same thing?
Yep.
He went there. Players didn't like what he was coaching. They said, no,
Yeah.
this is too hard. I don't like it. So I thought maybe Madge might cop because he's already copped the Tigers. Well, they did the
Yeah.
same. But it looks like the players are bought in. And if the players buy in at Brisbane, then they're going to win a comp. I reckon they're a shoo-in. It's up to the players.
It's way too early to say, but for some reason,
Way too
from the day that I heard that he signed there,
Yeah, me too.
I just had this perfect fit feel. to
Yeah,
it.
you're right.
It just feels right.
I hope so,
I think
man.
he's.
I hope it
think
works
he's
out.
going to be there for a long time.
I think so. Yeah, and you know what? His style of coaching suits, let's say, this current
A
group.
batch of players. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suggest to you the type of kids that grow up in Brisbane, be it that type of environment, will suit sort of that style, that type of personality.
Little
kid.
things like he did from the minute he got there. He said no shirts off at training.
No shirts off.
You know, and we all know about the famous Madge flogging teams, but how hard do you think he's flogging Hunt and Reynolds? Like, I
He's
think
not.
he's very selective on who needs to cop it and who doesn't as well.
Look, people have told me that. People rang me up and told me that after that victory they had, and they're going to burn out. And my reply to them is, how hard do you think Ivan Cleary flogs them? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They're the fittest team in the comp.
Yeah,
So they don't go and play a game of touch and go home.
Yeah.
exactly.
Actually, what did Ivan? He's a new one. They wear VR goggles, whatever. So when they play a team, they know what each individual's body swerve and everything. So they move up, and they're all wearing VR, and they're playing the team. So get out
What
of town.
the
Oh, I know
hell?
one thing
Wow.
from reading
Get out of town, please. Get out of
from
town.
reading Ivan Cleary's book, which I highly recommend. I recommended it to George.
Loved it, Adi. I loved it.
Not
I
everything
loved it.
counts, but
Yeah.
everything matters.
Yeah.
Some of the things I got from, I think it was like in the first half an hour, I got the audio book, and some of the things, and this is what he's prepared to share. There's a lot more that I'm sure
Yeah.
he's not. Little things like the rules Penrith have at training, where it's absolutely outlawed to put hands on hips, hands on knees, hands on heads. The body language thing is so important. You do not show fatigue, and when they see other teams doing that, the
That's-
energy
that's their
levels go
game.
up. And like I'm like 20 minutes in, and I'm thinking, wow, we're not even on the same playing field here with this, you know. So definitely recommend it. There's a plug for you, Cleary. Now come on the show as a guest.
I've heard it 4 times.
Yeah.
That's how much I like
it's a
it.
great book.
Yeah.
Really, really
I've
good
started
book.
listening to it. I heard it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I
Let's,
want you to hear it. I want you to listen to it.
Speaking of potato chips, let's move on to Friday night. Now, this was a really weird one. Now, the Tigers went down 10 points to 8 against Newcastle at Campbelltown, and the Tigers have got a horrid, wretched record at Campbelltown. I watched this game from start to end, and when the final siren went, I actually asked myself out loud, what happened? I don't understand how the Tigers didn't win this match. They had 51 missed tackles, mind you. But to me, it just felt like they controlled the whole game, and then Newcastle had 2 shots, and it was over. I don't know. What am I missing?
That was a classic game of two halves.
It
The
wasn't
scored.
a great quality game.
It wasn't,
by
it
any
wasn't.
stretch.
It wasn't. But the Tigers scored all their points in the first half, and the Knights scored all theirs in the second half. And it was on the back of a good run by this Dylan Lucas, who this second rower who just tore through through the West Tigers. They let themselves down because they did so well, the Tigers, to get to a position to be 8-0 down at half time, keep a team scoreless, and then finish with 51 missed tackles. And that's where it'll shit itself
But I
at the
think
end.
that also says a lot about their scrambling defense was pretty good. Because to miss 51 tackles, George, and only concede 10 points.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird stat. It kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
But
It was a
marry
weird
up.
game.
But there wasn't that much. Like when you look at it, they only scored 1 try at the end, and the Knights
Yeah.
scored 2. So it's not right. Their attack is
Yeah.
firing at the moment,
No.
but their defense is definitely a lot better. West Tigers.
Yes.
That's one thing that's good.
Well, they didn't have obviously Api Coruscant and,
That's it,
and
yeah.
Dream Buller.
That will
Exactly.
change.
So
Things will change around the ruck, yeah.
I still think I see a lot of positives in that. And Terrell May was really good. I thought he was fantastic for the Tigers.
Yeah.
He stood out for me. But it was a strange game, that's for sure.
Strange game, wasn't it?
I've used this analogy before, Nicola. This reminded me of 2 guys outside of a pub, drunk, swinging at each other,
Yeah.
but missing.
Hmm.
Clunky.
Billy
messy.
Moore and Gary Larson.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, clunky, messy. The first or 3/4 of the game, Newcastle just couldn't put 2 passes together. if it wasn't Fletcher Sharp doing something, nothing was happening. West were on top, or it appeared to be. They appeared to be on top. Artie's right. May outstanding.
He was good.
Yeah.
Outstanding, and they say they got rid of him. East say they got rid of him because he wasn't a Roosters player. Yeah, sometimes you can turn a blind eye when a front row does what he does. But look, let's move on. West got him, and so be it. So they looked for 3/4 of the game that they're going to win the game by the looks of it. I got a beef, and this is coaching. So Jerome plays left and right. You know what? They put Lockie on the left, and they just leave him there like a stuffed mushroom to do what? Every time Jerome moves, he should move with him, and they should be together as one. So this is my issue this year, and it's going to unfold. I'd say the actual. The coaching smarts. I've got this gut feeling. We were talking about this last week. I've got this gut feeling that Benji's not up to it, but I hope he improves and improves quick. You know what? Well, Galvin looks.
He's coaching some seasoned players.
Exactly.
Now, right?
Exactly. Some players who know what good coaching is. So Galvin looks like a good player to me. He doesn't look like a good 5'8" yet. He looks like a very good player, but he doesn't look like a good 5'8", which is a problem. Is a big problem. So only round one.
Look, 51 missed tackles for any team is not good.
Yeah. So
even Parra didn't miss that many.
No, I don't think they did.
No.
Number one and number two. If it wasn't for my favourite player, Kalen Ponga,
they weren't far behind. It was 47.
It wasn't 51. If it wasn't for my favourite player, they would have lost. This kid cleaned everything up.
Yeah.
He made the last ditch tackles, the kicks in goal, he cleaned them up. He was playing first receiver, second receiver. He was kicking. He was Mr. Gadget. He was doing everything, trying to pull them back into the game. This Fletcher Sharp, I don't rate him as a 5'8", but he's a damn good player. And if you haven't got a 5'8" and you want something different, he's your man. Give him the ball. He doesn't pass. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Let him run. You know what? It might be so unorthodox. It might actually work, Artie. And guess what? It worked.
So he's the one playing with Dylan Brown, but Brown's going to be the 7. And
we don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think that will happen. I think Cogger will play 7 and Brown will play 6. But that's next year. We'll talk about that next year. So they've been playing this merry-go-round in halves, and they've decided Jack Cogger and Sharp. You know what? Leave them. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Leave them.
I believe. Yeah.
I like them as players. I don't like the combination. You know what? Fletcher Sharp, not a 5'8". Who cares? Leave him. He can make a break. Now, Artie, where did this Dylan Lucas come from?
He's a Newcastle boy.
He's a local product?
I think he's a local product. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Okay. Yeah. This Dylan Lucas guy, was he a back before?
Played last year.
Was he a back? Was he always a forward?
I thought he was always a back rower. Pretty sure he's a back rower. Yeah.
Well, when he made those breaks,
he was great.
And he was swerving and his pace. This kid Dylan Lucas kept him in the game. Didn't he score that late try?
He set it up. He made the whole run, and then they off the back of play the ball, they scored.
Okay, so you know what? Probably the wrong team won. But you know what?
But they won
when they started playing the last 10 minutes, they actually put some passes together, some structures together. They won the game. They got 2 points. West Tigers, I wouldn't start cutting my wrists yet, but it was a little bit disappointing. Can I mention one of Artie's favourite players, Bradman Best?
Yes.
If you want to see him having a bad game, well, we saw it. So let's hope he improves from now on, because he's better than that. And if he actually played good, he would rip them apart. Every time he looked like he was going to have a run, they were missing him, and he looked like he had spider webs, but for some reason he was dropping the ball.
Yeah.
He was doing forward passes. It was a really messy, yucky game, Nicola.
Yeah, it
Because-
was. It was.
but
It
guess
wasn't
what?
easy. It wasn't easy on the eye.
No, it wasn't.
Bludger of the round for sure.
No, the next one's the bludger of the round,
Oh,
not this
okay,
one. This
okay.
was entertaining
Oh,
enough.
yes. Okay.
This
Yeah,
was
sure.
entertaining enough. And I'm going to say, bludger, you say? I said, he had me enthralled.
Okay.
It was so messy, he had me enthralled.
Can you give us a 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1.
Wait, before I do that, okay, tell me who got 8 points in the Del Diem.
8 points.
Yep.
The Kalamponga.
Ponga somehow he's leading the Del Diems, okay? He's got 8 points.
One game, 8
He's got-
points.
and you know
How
what?
can you get 8 points in a game?
The new system they've got. They've got 20 million.
Oh my God.
Anonymous. 20 million anonymous judges. I want to know these names. 8 points.
Wow.
No one got anything else. He got 8 points.
The hell?
Even more reason to disregard it.
Oh, you're kidding.
I love it. What do you say? He played 6 games good. He's got Del Diem. That's it. 6
He'll
games.
get it now. He'll play 6 rounds and he's won. Well, he got 3 points from Manoli, so he's probably one of the judges. He's the one who gave him 8.
3 points from Manoli.
3
A
points
good
from
judge.
Manoli. Terrell May got 2.
Yep.
Got up to close to 200 metres he ran for the Tigers, which is a
Terrell May.
good stint. Terrell May,
Yeah. Gee.
And Dylan Lucas got the 1 point. He's the one who
Good
turned the game
stuff.
around, that's for sure. Wasn't for him, I think.
Good player.
The second Friday night game, South Sydney Rabbitohs, obviously this game was moved to Combank Stadium because it was a Dolphins home game. So 16 points to 14 over the Dolphins. But for me, this was a war of attrition because I think it was 4 or 5, maybe 6 Dolphins players didn't make the trip.
Yes, that's correct.
Doesn't say much for South, does it?
Oh, no, it ended up three tries each at the end. Goal kicking was the key.
I mean, they're playing against half a team.
But yeah,
Mind
playing
you,
against
they've
half
got
team.
their own notable players. I mean,
Exactly. South's
Latrell
got-
Mitchell,
Yeah.
Cam Murray. I mean,
It was. But yeah, it was goal kicking that made the difference. Our man Jermaine unfortunately missed a goal or two and couldn't get him through. But they did it tough, like you said, last minute. They had to move the game. They had to bring half the players down.
A lot of disruption.
A lot of disruption.
And a bunch of the players couldn't make the trip, which is understandable, obviously.
Yeah.
NRL 360 has been enjoyable because Talis isn't on it.
Oh, thank God.
I know.
Yeah.
How
he's
good
in
is it?
Queensland. I know. It's been
How
great.
good is it?
I know.
I like
more.
Ganane.
We want more cyclones.
I know.
I rate Ganane. I reckon Ganane's
Yeah.
awesome commentator and just I like his vision of the way he talks. But, mate, Dolphins were in it, man. 67th minute, Isaiah Tass scored. So 30 minutes to go. Otherwise, Dolphins win it. But credit to the Rabbitohs. No one tipped them. No, I don't know anyone who tipped
I
Rabbitohs.
changed my tip
Yeah.
to the Rabbitohs when I heard that a bunch of Dolphins players pulled out.
Yeah, I
So I
couldn't
tipped
change
them.
it.
I made it last minute because I heard that. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
had the Dolphins all the way.
Yeah. But look, it was good to see Campbell Graham come out of the long injury layoff.
Stretch.
I
How
thought
good
he was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was up against what's his name, Mr. Farnsworth, and Farnsworth didn't have his best night, but he was really good to see. And the young kid, Jamie,
What about the little Smurf? Jai Gray, is it?
Joe
Wayne
Gray,
Humphrey?
yep,
How
he's
good
up
was
there,
he?
mate. He's got the Manoli's points, mate. He
He
had
was
an
good.
absolute
was
awesome
good.
match. But the young half, Jamie Humphreys, they bought him from Manly, and he's going to keep the English guy that they bought for $600K out in reserve grade. They're going to have
They're
an
gonna
English
give-
international on the bench.
They're going to give him a Qantas air ticket, I think.
Send him back.
The English guy, yeah. Yeah, I think that will.
Well, they can't get rid of this Jamie Humphreys guy because
no.
he's outstanding.
No.
At the Charity Shield, it was great, and then he backed it up with another great performance in the
No,
NRL. So you can't drop a guy like that. That's crazy. But yeah, bludger.
Nicola, the official bludger of the round. This
It
one.
was, wasn't it?
Like pulling teeth out. It was, if I wanted the game to end because I wanted to go to bed, that's saying a lot for me. That's saying a lot for me, Nicola. You know what? Supercoach has got this ability when he presents the team, even if they're not playing well, they're giving it everything they've got. And that's the only thing that kept them in the game, their efforts. Colin Matangi just kept on turning up, kept on carding the ball. Adi mentioned Jai Gray. How I think that Jack his best game in a Rabbits jersey.
Jack White.
Was
I
good.
think that's his best. And again, it wasn't a classy Jack White and game, Nicola,
gritty.
but it was just at there. Now Dolphins for about 60 minutes they're the better team. Trust me, they look the goods. Okay, the last 10 minutes, and it really upsets me. Isaiah Katoa just made some rookie mistakes, some kicks, some passes, which gave Rabbitohs the ball, and they come home strong. I didn't like the game. I didn't enjoy the game. I think these two teams are very, very, very far away from the top 8.
Yeah.
And probably bottom 4. I'd say these two teams. I think the Finns were the better team on the night. But guess what? Any team that's coached by a super coach, you got to beat them.
Yeah, of course.
You can't just turn up and they're going to fold. I've got nothing to say about this game because I really did enjoy it. Humphreys will be the permanent number 7. He comes from good stock. His grandfather was CEO of the league once upon a time.
Kevin Humphreys.
Kevin Humphreys, and he had a very colourful.
He had a very
colourful career.
His best effort was on 4 corners when he got caught in that video. That was his highlight of his career, wasn't it? 4 corners.
If my memory serves me correct, I'll never forgive that man.
What did he do?
He was the first one to start to clean up the game in the late 80s.
Okay, so which has
led to the handbags of 10 paces that we see now.
So he's got a black mark on his name already. This young
Kevin Humphreys.
This young
you can look him up. It was late 80s, 90, around then, 88, 89. He wanted to get fighting out of the game, and now we've ended up with this. So thanks for that.
2 more observations. Number 1, I mentioned the Kolomatangi before. It's good that he's in the middle now. That's his position. He's in the middle, and he just keeps on carting the ball up because they're thin in the middle. And who has got better service from dummy half than Mamazoulis? I'm not saying he's an international. I'm just saying service off the ground. Okay, please watch. And you tell me.
Immortal. Yes.
And tell me, you know what I mean? Tell
I'm not knocking him.
He's got better service off the ground. Well, you know what? Supercoach hasn't dropped him. So
I know that. What are you looking at me for?
No, I'm just alluding to it. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of things to say about Lockie. I'm not happy with Lockie. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He was extremely disappointing.
Well, I mean, he hasn't dropped him. I mean, it's one game, but he did well though. He did well.
Next, I say next.
Oh look, 3-2-1. There's no bias here. 3 points went to Mamazoulis, 2 points to Mamazoulis, and 1 point went to Mamazoulis. First ever played to get 6 points.
Wow.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't the case. I'm joking.
And now we'll take a moment out to thank our sponsors, Marrickville Euros. Thank you very much.
Olympic Airways. 3 points went to Jai Gray. He had a good game. Jermaine Osako was a star for me for the Dolphins. Scored a couple of tries.
I didn't mention.
He was pretty good. He was a pretty impressive young man. He played well. Unfortunately, he didn't kick the goals, but 2 line breaks, 2 tries, nearly 200 metres, 176 metres. So that's not bad. But the other guy you didn't mention, George, and I thought you would, who I thought was very good, was Jai Arrow. The back rower, Jai Arrow.
I didn't mention.
He was good, and Manoli stood him out as a 1-pointer.
Yeah.
No Mamazoulis.
The reason, the reason I didn't mention all of them, I didn't go too in deep. I didn't enjoy the game.
Yeah, true.
I didn't enjoy the game. It was, for me to say that, must have been a bludger. I just didn't enjoy it.
I was going to send a message to Tanya. This is why I need you back here next week. Because I'm stuck between 2 Greeks. All right?
Don't be like that, Nicola. Don't be like that now.
All right. So moving on. The next one, you guys, the streak is alive and well.
The streak is alive.
The Dragons hosted the Bulldogs at Cogra. 28 points to 20. Dragons, they got 1 or 2 late, right?
Yeah, they got a couple of ones in the end.
Bulldogs look pretty good. So you were there.
I was at the game, mate, and I'm sure now at the Battle of Ticketek now, I think all the Belmore people are lining up for grand final tickets instead of the Cogra people. But look, the Bulldogs were the better team. They were quicker off the mark. They put pressure on our kickers. Everything about them, they were just sharp. They had always 3 players in the tackles.
Their line speed was
good. Line speed was fantastic. But I think there was a couple of turning points for me. It was it was 6-4 with 30 minutes gone. So it was pretty tight. And then St. George lost that Couchman boy. He was only on for 7 minutes. And then they lost the Bell in the HIA. They had 2 of them gone, and that's when Canterbury scored a couple of good tries. And then after the second half, Canterbury did it again. But the guy that made the difference was Satili Tupanoa, and I still can't believe that the Roosters let him go because this guy was amazing. He was just finding holes and running hard, and he's going to be a fantastic. I reckon he might end up being the buy of the season. This guy because he's going to be that good. But to St George's credit, we've been there before last year when they were down 28-6. We thought, here we go again. But they hung in there and they got it to 28-20. I think the Dogs lost a bit of steam in the end. That's what got St George a couple of tries. Couple of weird incidents in that game. I thought I was watching the Super Bowl with one of the Canterbury tries with a forward pass. But then there was also a penalty try to, what's his name? Moses Sully.
Yeah.
No, Tupaludo.
I could, yeah.
Because Crichton went in with the knees.
I could see it. I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, it was Tupaludo.
I was out. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought he just lost the ball. Like, there was nothing Crichton could have done. Like, you went to stop it.
When I saw that, I was out.
Yeah.
I thought it was a no-try penalty to Canterbury. I didn't know what the ruling was.
Yeah, I was confused.
Because I didn't see Crichton do anything wrong. So
yeah.
when I saw there was a penalty try, I thought, I can't hear it. I can only see it. Maybe I missed something. I've had 38 drinks, so maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I didn't see.
It was weird. I was expecting no try. Everyone went, everyone groaned. We thought, here we go, he's bombed it.
Yeah.
And then penalty, we go, what? Yeah. And then he's on report. We're thinking, really late knees. It didn't look like he had no intention to do anything. Like he didn't. Remember the Billy Slater days with the feet? He didn't do nothing like that. It was
people forget, like you can't disappear.
No, I know.
When you're going in to make a tackle, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're not leading with your knees
Yeah.
or your elbow, you know what I mean? Which you can tell it's pretty. I mean, Billy Slater used to jump up and flying kick whoever was next.
That wasn't on purpose.
No, right? Yeah, but so you can, a bit of common sense, and you can tell. Like, with some tackles, you can't. Like, I love that they'll slow things down and go, if you look at this point, he turned his body. Do you think he's thinking about that in the one fraction of a second that he's doing it? You know what I mean? It just happens.
Yeah.
It's gravity.
On replay, his knees hit.
It does. Now, look.
Wrongly, rightly, yeah.
Yeah, so, look, and that forward pass, that was just everyone, because it was close to us, we were in line with it, and it was so blatantly forward. How could anyone miss it? But anyway, there was a couple of bad calls there, but anyway, evened out, I suppose. Both teams got a try out of it. Couple of things. People started bagging Lachlan Elias after the game, saying, he's a bad half. This kid was out for the whole year with a horrific injury. And look, I'm not saying I just feel sorry for the guy because it was his first game back. A lot of halves struggle on their first game back after a broken fibia bone or whatever, a tibia bone. So I think give him another few more weeks before we start bagging the guy. Like, he's tried his ass out. I was actually happy with his game. I didn't find it that bad. Made a couple of mistakes, but he'll get there. Give him some more games. But one guy I want to mention, George, do you know? Tell me more about this Harry Hayes guy, because that guy is pretty good, man, for the Dogs.
Don't know.
He honestly, George, he stood out, man. Yeah. He's a good little player, man.
Yeah,
he looks like a future. He's got a big future for you guys.
He's somebody Gus brought to the club, and they brought him through the
player.
The Jersey Flag a couple of years ago where they won.
Yeah,
he was in the back row. Yeah, he's good.
He stood out, man. He's very
strong.
Good.
He's very physical. And
Dogs look good, man. You've got a good side.
Tell me about the atmosphere.
Atmosphere was great, man. It was like everyone was it felt a bit like the 80s, and it was great, man. The only thing missing was Skull, the resident fan there.
Was the crowd 50-50?
Oh, it was mostly Dragons. So would have been like 60-40, I think, maybe mostly Dragons, but there was a few Bulldog supporters there. A lot of. Would have been too many pies. We would have to make more pies.
A lot of drums.
There was more.
A lot of drums, noise, and colour.
A lot of drums. It was a great atmosphere, George. It was filled out. It looked filled.
The pitches coming
16,000, 17,000 people out of 19, so not bad, man.
Well, the pitches coming through the television indicated that. I'm going to be a little bit long-winded, Nicola, to put some things in perspective and to put my mind in perspective. When Ciro came to the Bulldogs, he had this vision of a style of play. And he started with the players who were there. He started implementing this style. It was a very physical style, different to Penrith, but to get the same result. Yeah. It was a very physical style, Nicola, a very fast moving style, and a style which the ball moves left and right. the players who were there 3 years ago, when they saw the price they had to pay to play his style, if you remember, we had some revolt. We had some players not happy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk.
The whole squad was turned over virtually.
And that's what I was trying to get to. Then Uncle Gus saw exactly what Ciro wanted to do, and he went out and bought the type of players that possibly could play Ciro's style. Last year, we saw the fruits of his labour, and he produced his style. It was a very good, fast, physical style, which I think lost a bit of steam at the end of the year. Now, at the start of this year, you guys asked me if I thought they could maintain that range. Now, I thought that style he plays, which is extremely physical. Adi said a fast-moving line.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, a very fast-moving line. How physical were they?
Yeah, they were.
Very
And
physical.
they were keeping them on the ground. They were winning the ruck, and they'll leave.
So unlike Penrith, they want to roll that ruck.
Yeah.
Roll that ruck. It's a Melbourne thing, rolling that ruck, okay? Now, I thought they couldn't do it. It's too hard to maintain. How wrong was I? Not only they've maintained that range, Nicola, I think they've improved it. And I think this year, without any new cattle, they're going to just keep on improving this.
Yeah.
And that tells me that Ciro, I was wrong again.
Mr. Popular.
You called it, Mr. Popular. You called it 2 years ago. Give him time, and I was trashing him. Guess what? I'm wrong. He is a good coach because this style, what he has implemented technically is extremely difficult. What they're doing, extremely technical and extremely difficult and extremely physical. Okay, loved it. I loved it, Nicola. They came out. St. George were ready. St. George.
Yeah, they were a bit flat, man. We were slow. We weren't putting no pressure on Burton. It was disappointing.
At the start,
Burton had time to have a cappuccino before every kick. It was bad, man. Like, we weren't putting any pressure on the kick. Or as Canterbury, our halves didn't have a chance to breathe before the kick.
That's our style, bro.
Exactly.
That's
what was disappointing.
That's our style.
I
thought through the television, to me, they looked like they were mentally there.
Yeah.
They were mentally ready. The game went to and fro, like I say, the washing machine. Okay, and Canterbury kept on maintaining that rage, and you guys fatigued, started dropping the ball, started slipping off tackles. That's when Canterbury started scoring. Ciro had another vision. He went to Gus and he said, "I need a back rower who's a little bit of a utility player, but who can run holes. I haven't got that type of player. I've got Kickow, who stays on his edge, who can pop, who's very quick. I've got what's that other kid, Artie, the blonde hair
Preston.
We got Preston Campbell, which one day will be Jacob Preston. One day he will be the captain of Canterbury. He's a hard, straight, up and down player. But I need a back row who can run a hole. And he gave Ciro Satilli.
He's great. He was changed everything.
Yeah, he's a great player.
And when Satilli came on, the magic happened.
Yeah.
The St. George were fatigued, and the magic happened. I loved it. I love the Canterbury physicality. That's what I remember back in the 80s. That's the reason I supported the team back in the 80s. I want to ask you a few questions, Artie. There's this winger who scored 3 tries.
Tupolotto.
Is he on match payments?
Why?
Well, every time he's scoring tries, he's going to the crowd, money, this and that.
It was crazy.
You know what I found cute? He scored the second try. He's going like a pork chop. They were 16 down.
I know.
I'm going, wait a minute, you're 16 down and you're acting like
the Dragons player?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a character.
Down, I go, yeah, and every time he's scoring, I'm thinking, you guys are training trial, for sure.
Apparently he's fun to be around.
Oh, I like it.
He's a character.
I like it, but he looked like he's a pork chop. You know what I mean? And how about when he got hit? Every time he got penalties, he's getting up looking for a fight, like looking for his handbag on the sideline to start whipping someone around the head with his handbag. I like that. He makes the he's
a crowd pleaser, that's for sure.
The Lockie, you mentioned Lockie. Okay, I agree. Give him time, but let me tell you, if you want St. George to progress, he has to play well. If
Both
this
of them, not just him, both.
This is like his last chance.
Yeah, both of them.
Make no mistake.
We've got Atkinson next year, so Atkinson's got one position sewn up. It's up to them to perform, and they're gone.
Because if Flano wants to move him on, I'll tell you now, no one will buy him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to have to go to Super League.
Agree.
Okay, so as good as he looked in reserve grade, because he was the player of the year in reserve grade.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen it. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it.
He got no protection.
It hurts me.
He didn't get a chance to kick. Every time he got the ball, the Canterbury were just on him. Like, they just played it well. Good coaching. Good coaching.
Sorry, I'm just clearing my throat.
Oh, you'll see next week. We'll have a good
2
one.
years ago.
Nicola,
He'll come good.
I enjoyed the game. It was a physical game. Clear cut, these two teams are top 8 teams.
You reckon?
I'm just I'm making a joke about Ilias.
I know. And that's why I brought it up. It was
good to see the crowd. It looked like a really good atmosphere.
It was.
3, 2, 1.
Satilli got the 3.
Whoa.
Jacob Preston got the 2. And Moneyman, Tua Pilato got the 1 point for the Dragons.
Three tries, right?
He scored 3 tries.
Good on him. Good on
But
him.
he pulled his heart out. Like, he tries hard anyway.
Is he sure he's on a training trial?
He must be.
He's going on money.
He's looking for money. He's looking for money.
He's going to the crowd with the money there.
Second Saturday night game, Sea was at home at Brookvale. 42 points to 12 over the Cowboys.
Wow,
the Cowboys looked, Manly looked good, and as long as Turbo's fit, they look good. But the Cowboys were really disappointing, weren't they?
Wow.
Yeah, the Manly boys. It looks like they've all got science degrees because they understand the professor, eh? They've really bought into his style. They've worked him out, and they are playing they're outstanding. They're top 4 now. To me, they're a top 4 team. If they keep playing like that, DCE, that guy does never stop. How old is he now? 52 or something? How old is he? So old, and he's still playing the way he is. And it was the 3. Tommy Turbo, back to his best. Yeah. Ola Kawatu, smashing it. And DCE. They've got 3 gun players, and they're playing off the back of it. They're not going to lose too many games. Cowboys, mate, they were very disappointing. I was disappointed with Cotter and Nanai. They were very quiet. Expected big games from them. John Bateman was the better back row out of the 3. You wouldn't have thought that, but he stood out for the Cowboys, and probably the best of the night for them. But apart from that, they were all disappointing, man. So long year ahead. I think Coach of the Year Peyton has got a lot of work to do.
I think so. Nicola, this night was the professor's finest performance. They understand him. They understand him. Man, the professor wants to play this hybrid style of power running and spread. So he wants to play a combination of Bulldogs and Broncos. Okay, very hard to do. But guess what? He's got the cattle.
Yeah,
he's probably the only team, the only roster which has got the cattle that can play this 2-way. Now he's been going at it for 3 years for them to understand what exactly and how exactly this all works. Now you get glimpses through the year, but they can't put an 80-minute performance together. Certainly can't put a season together. Yeah. Guess what? The professor went home and
round 1.
Round 1. Yeah, I'm talking what we're seeing right here and now. Yeah. Okay, what we saw. I wouldn't know. In round 10, this team might look
a lot of it comes down to them staying fit.
Absolutely.
Starting with Turbo.
No, Tommy will get injured. Sixth round in the first 10 rounds. He'll get injured. No, it's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen. So it was beautiful to watch. The first 6 sets or 7 sets, North Queensland did not touch the ball. Yeah. Manly went bang, 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 bang. You look up the scoreboard, you're 23-0, you're gone. And sometimes you cannot stop this roll. When in a current rugby league,
I'm having deja vu.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Current day rugby league, when a roll happens, back in the 80s you could stop it. Someone get a head high, bang, done. Yeah. All in brawl, roll stopped. No, that's the way these things.
No, I'm thinking of Valerie Henley.
Yeah, well, that as well. Okay, but these days,
Terry Lamb.
When a roll starts, how hard it is to stop a roll when a team's rolling, it's virtually impossible. You got to do something out of the ordinary. Okay, this was the best of Manly. How if Ola Kawatu doesn't make the Origin team, if Ola Kawatu doesn't become an absolutely wrecking machine this year, I will eat my hat. Paseka,
he's
I was
good too.
waiting. I'm waiting. Last year, I was waiting. The year before, guess what? Welcome to the party, Paseka. What a game he had, Adi. Huh? Absolutely crushed it, Nicola. I was so happy to see Paseka. Jazz at dummy half. How good was he?
Yeah.
They've been playing him back row for how many years now at Warriors. He comes to his normal position. He looks like $1 million. They didn't want him. DC, how old is he? 53.
I don't know, man. He's the oldest man
Guess
in the
what?
world.
Jake?
He was good.
Jake was running.
Yeah.
Jake got the ball in his hand, Nicola, and actually ran, not pass. I don't know who he's been listening to over the off season, but guess what? He's got it. And of course, you know what? I've worked out Saab, he can't pass. He's so quick. When he's running, he can't pass.
Yeah.
Have you seen him ever pass? Or when he does, he's forward.
Yeah.
Okay. How many tries he bombed? Imagine, Nicola. It was 42-12 and they bombed about half a dozen tries.
Yeah.
It would have been a world record. You know what I mean? A world record's 90. But I'm not going to say too much about North Queensland. They were very good Seagulls. I can't wait to see them again. I'm going to put it in the too hard basket because I just flicked through and I saw all these names on the North Queensland team, and even Tom Dearden looked like a passenger. So that's not true. But if they keep on showing us this, Nicola, the coach must be under pressure.
They've got a history of slow starts. If you look at the Cowboys the last how many years, I always start slow. They don't get smashed this early in round one.
The score
but
was
the
deceiving.
score was bad, but they usually do
The score
slow.
was deceiving.
I actually think it's scarier. The Cowboys got 42 by Manly and the Roosters got 50 by Brisbane. Neither one of them played Melbourne. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Neither one of them played Melbourne.
Yeah,
But Manly's going to be a good side.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
don't-
they're no Melbourne.
Yeah,
No
but
disrespect.
42
Still.
points to 12 good over the Cowboys. Expect more from the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know. They're very slow starters. 3-2-1. Tommy Turbo got the 3. Ola Kawatu got the 2, and DCE got the 1 for that.
Look, DCE, he was having fun.
I know, he looked like...
He was shooting blinds. Again, I'll say it again. The minute I see halves shooting blinds and making breaks, give it up. Go home.
I guarantee Tommy Turbo, if he does get injured, he'll be in Origin at a training camp, and it won't even be for Manly. I feel sorry for the fans. They must feel like short change with this guy. But no, hopefully he can stay fit the whole season.
So speaking about feeling sorry for the fans. So Sunday, Melbourne Storm 56, Parramatta 18. You guys go first on this, and then I'll give you my five cents worth.
You would think, honestly, his best mate playing his first NRL game, John Creese, will go easy and say, look, when we get to 30, let's play. Let Rolsey at least get to a start.
he's a Cubano.
56. We'll get 56 and kept going. No, he's got no heart or anything, this John Creese, for his mate. He just, go hard. You look at it and you think, geez, they could have used RCG and Gutho in that game, I think, just for their leadership, because they looked a bit lost a bit. They're a young team. Look, Parramatta's a young team. It's Rolsey's first game, so he needs some time. He'll learn a lot of things out of this, and hopefully they'll be better and stronger as the season progresses. Losing Moses, man, is not going to help either.
Well,
that was a
no.
massive loss for them. But, yeah, I haven't got much else to say. Munster, he's back. He's back, man.
How good was Pappenhausen?
He was good, Pappenhausen, but Munster, seeing him the way he is, that's even scarier because the guy was playing busted all year, and I reckon that's the reason why they probably didn't win a comp. If he was fit,
I
more
agree.
fitter,
I
he would have won.
agree. Nicola, I'm not going to touch on too much on Parramatta. I'll let you do that. Storm, they look hungry.
Yeah.
I think last year, 2 years ago, I think the Broncos came back out last year and they had a bit of a grand final hangover. I really believe it because I heard during the week Herbie Farnworth talking and he said, quote, I haven't gotten over the grand final loss against Penrith. Quote, I haven't got over the loss.
Yeah.
Well, Madge sorted that out for the Broncos. But this team, a more mature team with a more mature coach, they've well and truly forgotten it. Not only forgotten it, They want payback. They look great. You know what? I haven't seen Pep play this well since he got the Golden Boot.
It's been a couple of years
How
since
good-
before his bad injury run started.
How good is he? How good is
so
he?
fast off the mark.
Accelerate.
Yeah.
You know what? They say he's lost a bit of pace. I didn't see it.
No.
I didn't see it. Meanie. It kills me every time I see him play well because I remember him in blue and white. You know what? Stefano, I was expecting some big things. He was unsighted.
He didn't have big minutes.
Unsighted. Still unsighted. Now, the one thing they done better today. On Sunday, how they rolled the ruck, Harry Grant and the forwards, how they rolled that ruck, and Parramatta couldn't keep up from that ruck. It was like half a second quicker than the Parramatta, which is a big thing on a rugby league thing. It was a joy to watch them rolling the ruck. I loved it. They were quick. They were fast. Before they knew it, Parramatta were down by 30 points. Thank God Parramatta stopped the bleeding in the second half. They're in the window. I can't wait to watch them this week. I don't want to go on about it. Parramatta got some work to do and some players to get back. Nico, take the floor.
Well,
I don't want to go too far in it.
I'll give it.
I can rip it.
I'll just give a bit of a different spin on it as well. I mean, first and foremost, I don't think anyone tipped Parramatta this week.
Exactly.
No.
I don't think anyone expected them to beat Melbourne. Melbourne were so slick to me. They looked like they were playing in round 6. They were just so good. They were just so good. I take nothing away from them. And geez, Pappenhausen looked like it's 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So they were amazing. And they clicked, and they were 1-17, right? Parramatta, on the other hand, new coach, new style, new everything. Mitchell Moses, in the week of the game, they lost Moses, Madison, and Sean Lane.
Yeah.
In the lead up to the game, not to mention Addo Carr still unavailable. 5 club debutants, 2 NRL debuts, and a fullback who's got 1 game. So that's basically 3 NRL debuts. And these youngsters just didn't know what hit them.
Yeah,
It's that
that's all it
simple,
is.
right?
Yeah.
Throw in Dylan Brown announcing to the team on Saturday that he's leaving. Not ideal timing. None of this, by the way, if Parra 1-17, Melbourne would have won this game comfortably. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying there's a lot of learning happening from the Eels in this one. They would have taken a lot from that. And the halfback is filling in, Volkman. He didn't play 1 game last year.
Yeah, he's coming off a big injury as well.
Right, so I mean, it's like there's a lot of inexperience out there.
Yeah.
Against the Melbourne team that was just red hot.
Well, I'll give you a scenario. I think early in the first half, Jerome Hughes put his hand up to come off.
No, in the second half.
Second half, sorry. Who came on? Wishy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
yeah.
That's and what I'm alluding what Nico's saying. It's a bunch of youngsters, and then they put Wishart on.
And not that it's, like I said, not that it's an excuse or anything, because very rarely do you see when a team's 46-6 at halftime, or 30-0, or 36-0. Very rarely do they go on with it. Like you know, I'm sitting there at halftime thinking, man, it's going to be 70. Very rarely do you see that, right? But when you're down 46-6 at halftime, there's no good outcome, right? There's no good outcome.
There's nothing.
The best possible outcome you can hope for is to win the second half.
And you did.
And that's what they did. So at least it showed something. Melbourne obviously took their foot off the gas. But you could see Paris, Roll said to them at halftime, forget about the first half, it's cooked.
Yeah.
How about we start playing the way we intended to start the game? And their line speed, everything was different in terms, they missed half as many tackles in the second half.
And that was the key. When they started, and Melbourne don't play too many shapes like the other top teams, but when Melbourne did roll the middle and start working B's and C's, second half this is, Parramatta really closed that up and looked like they were a rugby league team. First half, Melbourne was doing exactly that, and
there was also no cut right either as well. So there's 5 or 6 starters, but I mean, there's a lot of youth out there.
And can I say, all the players you mentioned is exactly where Melbourne split them. B's and C's.
A lot of youth.
B's and C's. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
They go to the hole and they keep on going to the hole.
They weren't. It was like Melbourne were playing a New South Wales Cup side in that first half. So
basically,
if you had an option now, you know how Dylan Brown's going.
Yeah.
Would you look at someone like Wishart as being a replacement for Dylan Brown? Because he's been now in the NRL for a couple of years. He can play halves, hooker.
I don't know what the chances
Finals.
are. If I'm targeting the perfect number 6, it's Lachlan Galvin.
Ahead of
Long
Wishart?
term.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
For
long
several
term.
reasons. A, he's being touted as something special.
Spatial.
B, because of his age.
Yeah,
And
Wishart's young
C,
too, isn't he?
because he's a Parramatta fanatic. He has been his whole life.
Can I?
wow, okay. Yeah. Done deal.
And D, he's Parramatta Junior.
Down deal.
Can I have a, what's the next letter? Can I give another one?
F.
He'll fit with Mitch perfectly. He'll fit with Mitch.
I don't know
perfectly.
I'm just saying, if I had to target someone, that's who it would be. But for me, the ship has sailed, because when you look at someone like Galvin, club let him go.
Mm.
Ethan Sanders, Talagi. The club,
Oh,
don't worry,
That's
George.
what I
I've
thought.
got the reflexes of a mirror. The club let him go. So
Yeah.
why would you want to go back? You know. So anyway, but I'm saying, if I had my pick, you know, because of his age and everything, that's who I'd want.
sure. Okay.
That's who I'd want. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1 for that is
3
Ryan.
points to Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, 3 points. 3 points to Pappenhausen, 2 to Munster, and 1 to the back row, Katoa. He's going to be an absolute superstar. Before we go to the next segment, guys.
I just want to say the Gold Coast Titans had the bye.
They had the bye, yeah. What was the best game of the round? Now, that's all games, all 8 games. We're counting the Vegas games as well. Which one was your favourite game out of all?
Sharks.
Sharks.
Yeah, Sharks better.
Yeah,
As in quality.
hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in quality.
It's probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
would say if it wasn't Vegas this week, it was the Dogs and
I think it was the second half in the Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah, the second half.
Yeah.
Big victory.
Not the first.
Big victory to the Eels.
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah, 12-10, mate. Big victory away from home.
Away from home too.
Yeah. And, man, yeah, they scored a length of the field intercept try too, Melbourne.
Hey.
Actually, they scored 2.
They gave a try away. Like charity try.
But,
What
yeah,
about which team impressed you the most out of the
Broncos? Oh, look,
Broncos?
Melbourne, I can't say they impressed me, because I kind of half expected it, but they were better than I expected. But Broncos, I thought they impressed me the most.
Broncos?
And Manly too, but Broncos. Yeah.
Well, Manly were playing against Witches Hats. He's last year's grand finalist. Melbourne's last year's grand finalist. Broncos, powerful.
Yeah.
They're powerful. They're quick. They're scary.
I'm going to go out there, right? And you can probably laugh, but the team that impressed me, it wasn't a big win for them, but it just impressed me was Canberra. I don't know what it was. I was just, because it's a young team, a young club of players, there's no experience there.
Yep.
I was very impressed with them.
Yep, they were good.
Everyone's had them as wooden spooners, but I don't think they'll be wooden spoon. I think they were.
What is it? You know what? I hate when they say that, because Ricky's a winner. And if you think Ricky's going to come last in anything,
He did at Parramatta, but anyway.
Didn't he leave halfway for the year?
Well, he left like 3 or 4 weeks before they finished last. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. He didn't come last.
Last,
No, he did.
last question for you
Or do you want
guys.
to hand that one to Brad Arthur as well?
Poor Brad. Poor Brad.
Last question for you guys.
Yeah.
Which player stood out the most? Who's the best player of the round? The best player.
I've got to say, tough one for me.
Payne Haas.
Payne Haas?
Um,
Payne Haas, Artie. Payne Haas.
You know what? I'll say Pappenhausen, because what I saw,
Yeah.
he was lightning. He was he was in doubt for round 1 as well. So yeah, he was unbelievable off the mark.
That's probably my next one.
Yeah, I was going to go Payne Haas, to be honest, as well. He was just back. And I just wanted to ask those last questions for the round. Let's close it off. It's in the can.
Let's
Say
go.
it.
It's in the can.
Round 1
George.
is
In the can,
There
Nicola,
you
in the
go.
can.
Done and dusted. No more.
Let's go to the previewing this week's games. Crystal Ball with Artie.
Hey. Oh, okay. All right, guys, let's go to Crystal Ball. So, first game of the round, boys. We've got the Knights up against the Dolphins. Now, can the Knights make a 2 from 2 and the Dolphins make
I
a 2
think
from
they
2?
can. I don't know that the Dolphins will travel again. This is in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Everyone in Queensland has been grounded, so I don't know that the Dolphins will travel again.
Apparently, I think they moved their training
It's,
to.
it's Thursday night too.
Did they go back to home?
I don't know.
home?
I think they've moved their training to somewhere else.
Yeah,
now.
but did the 4 or 5, 6 players are they going to come down? Like,
But no, probably not. Probably not. I don't know, but we haven't heard anything through the media. So let's assume. What's the team list?
The team list. Let's go through the team list. Sorry, man, I didn't got that ready. I just got the ins and outs, and they've got Kenny Bromwich, Mark Nichols, and Cody Nikarima as in.
Okay, well, there were three who didn't
So
come
yeah,
down.
there were three that were out, but whether they're listed is a different story. But look, there's a couple of stats out of this game, and that is, let me just go back to my spreadsheet now. The Knights have won their last 3 games against the Dolphins, so they've got the wood on them. And the Dolphins play their 50th game since entering their premiership. But look, while I look at the lineups, guys, have you got any tips on that one?
I'm going Newcastle.
You going the
At home,
Knights?
yeah.
Georgie, who are you going?
Oh, you know what? I don't see anything but a Newcastle win. They got their man.
The guys are listed.
They're all
They are listed, yeah. Mark Nichols, Cody Nikarima, they're all there.
Well,
And
that changes things.
And it's scheduled at McDonald's Stadium, so I think they've just gone down earlier and they're going to start training. I think that's what I've heard.
I still think he will win.
It's a tough game, isn't it?
It is.
When you think about it, Knights and Dolphins. All right, so we're all going Dolphins?
Knights.
Oh, Jackie. We're all going the Knights, yeah. All right. Now, Bulldogs and Bulldogs and Titans. Now, next one is
By the way,
Warriors versus Manly.
I have Tanya's tips here as well.
Oh, you got Tanya's tips?
Tips with Tanya. She's got the Knights.
So we all gone the Knights.
Yeah.
Smart girl.
Okay. Next one is Warriors versus Manly. How will the jet-lagged Warriors go up against the jet-lagged Eagles? They're not going to be really jet-lagged, mates.
Yeah, for me, I just didn't see enough from the Warriors 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I can't go past Manly.
Now, there's a couple of matchups in this one. Capewell versus Olakau'atu, which I think will be a good one. And then you've got Fisher-Harris up against Paseka. So a couple of good matchups. Warriors have only won 1 game in the last 6 against Eagles. So Eagles
they're playing in New Zealand, Nicola. They're playing. They're playing in New Zealand, and
Warriors got a bad record there though. They've only won 4 out of 10.
Yeah, they have, but they've got to show something. Number one, not only for themselves, for the public. I can't tip against. I cannot tip against what I saw. I can't tip against Seagulls, so I'm going to go Seagulls. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised because we know last year the Seagulls weren't consistent. But look, I can't see any other result. Let's hope the Poet and Metcalf get it together. Yeah.
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 It's going to be a tough game for them, man. After watching Manly last week, I can't see anything but a Manly win. But I think, yeah, look, like you said, George, they really have to show up for the New Zealand people. If they don't, they could lose a lot of gate takings for the future.
They've got to show something.
People will stop going. Yeah, it's got to be Manly. So looks like we've got a 3-peat here. We're all gone for Manly. Couple of matchups.
Sorry, Tanya's tipped the Warriors.
Oh, Tanya's tipped the Warriors. Yeah. Okay.
I might change my tip then. She's always right, isn't she?
With first try scorer. I don't know about tipping.
Oh, okay. Next game is Panthers up against the Roosters. Can the Roosters keep them under 50?
At this point, I think it's a mismatch. And it's at Penrith too.
I know.
It's a no-brainer.
It's at the new stadium. Yeah. What is it?
Oh, sorry. It's at CommBank. They're playing there. I forgot
they're not playing at Penrith anymore. That's
makes no difference. Like Jack Gibson always said, it's just a patch of grass with a fence around it.
Nicola McLean back in, and Marotti's back into the centres then, so because Toho goes back to the wing. Cole still holds his 5'8"
Penrith
job.
are actually stronger. They've got Toto coming back in.
And this is pretty much
no Radley for the Roosters.
Pretty much full team. This is pretty much the full team.
Tanya's tipped Penrith.
Tanya's tipped Penrith. I think everyone's going to go Penrith for this one, surely.
Yeah, I want the Roosters to show me something, anything.
Yeah,
Penrith will win, but it's how they win and it's how much they win by. So let's hope East keep it down.
Yeah, it's a shame Radley's out. And
Radley's HIA, yeah.
I was trying to find some matchups for this one, but really couldn't find anything. To'o versus Dominic Young.
It's a mismatch.
That's the only one, 2 wingers.
It's a mismatch.
And then Lindsay Collins up against whoever he's got. What's his name? Leota. There's the only ones, but yeah, it's a mismatch, mate.
Well, you know what? Just Penrith carrying out from dirty ball.
It's going to smash them.
Edwards, McLean, Tango, Tygo, what do you call him? Amarati, Toho. Yeah, right. 13 plus.
Do you need to look at the team
Oh,
list?
jeez.
I just picture the carry out, you know what I mean, which is important. Oh, what a game!
Then the next game will be good.
The next game is Saturday afternoon
Yeah.
game. It's the Dragons up against the Rabbitohs. Charity Shield take 2. This time it's for NRL points, not trophy. Dragons won 3 of the last 4 against the Rabbitohs. Campbell Graham scored 11 tries against the Dragons. He loves playing against the Dragons. And we've got Tyrone Munro and Jack Whiten out for the Bunnies. Huge outs.
I'm tipping the Dragons for one reason.
Why?
You can't have a home ground called win and go there and lose.
Well, we've done it plenty of times. So
No, I
That's a
think
good
I
one.
think I think South they're light on personnel. They've been hit with injuries. I think the Dragons did enough to show. I think they can do enough to win this game.
you'd think, yeah.
Artie, Blake Laurie on the bench.
I know. Couple of good matchups there, George.
Little, which is probably the best hooker in the
Yeah, I forgot to mention him. Like,
so good.
Jeez,
he was
he
very
scored
good.
a great try.
He did,
It was
he
so
Hey.
good. You know what concerns me? Couchman, Gula, and Gula as front rowers. It's pretty light front rowers.
I know, we're
'Cause
struggling.
You've got this massive back line, and you've got Couchman, and he does his job. Toby's the defensive one, then the other one is
Well, the other one's out
attacking
for
one.
the season, mate.
Okay,
He's gone.
So what I know about Toby, he's a defensive back
Yeah,
rower.
he's the good one. Yeah, he's the stronger one out of the two. They're
Okay.
both good players, but
Yeah,
This
no.
guy's,
But I just don't see him as a front.
he's a
rower.
workhorse.
Yeah, as a front rower, that's concerning.
He's a workhorse, but yeah, he's light.
But the back row, the Bell and Sua and Luciano, well, it's a handy back row.
Well, Souths are losing a lot of players, man. Adding Whiten and Tyrone Munro to the list is huge on top of Latrell and everyone else. So they're going to be very light in the backs. So you think St. George will get them on that? I've got a couple of matchups for you, George.
What do you got for me, mate?
Damien Cook up against Mamazelis.
Love it.
Love it.
Can't wait.
Lachlan Galvin versus Humphreys, the two youngsters.
mate, they know each other.
And this is the best one for you. Jai Arrow versus Jaden Sewer.
Ooh.
They'll go hard. They don't like taking a backward step there. So I'm looking forward to that.
You,
duel.
you know
Who
what?
was
This is a local derby-ish sort of game, so it's going to be tight anyway because Wayne Bennett teams don't roll over, but St George will win and by the end win well. And of course, Belinda thinks the referee here.
Sharp.
Is she?
Belinda Sharpton, no.
okay.
Klein.
Who have you
Ashley
got, Andy?
Klein.
I've gone Dragons. What about
Tanya's gone Dragons. I've gone Dragons.
So we've all gone Dragons.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the second one that's going to be sort of a pretty straight, easy one. It's the Cowboys up against the Sharks, 5:30 game. Will the Sharks hand the Cowboys their second flogging? Or will the Cowboys show?
I would have gone the Cowboys, but I have to go the Sharks
You gotta go
based on what I
Sharks.
saw from the Cowboys.
Look, they've only won 2 of the last 14 against the Sharks. I've known that for a while. They've got a really bad record against the Sharks. So I'm definitely going
I'm Sharks. Tanya's Cowboys.
Sharks. Oh, Tanya's Cowboys.
Yeah.
What do you got for matches for me, Artie?
Match it. Oh, I couldn't find. I was struggling for this one, but I got Drinky up against Kennedy.
Yeah.
I got McInnes versus Cotter
Yeah.
and Robson up against Brayley.
Love it.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got no trust in Cowboys. I've said from the start that Sharks are in a window. They've got to go up there and get the job done. However they get it done. Fanor Blake was a star 2 weeks ago. He will continue to be a star, and I'm going to be waiting with bated breath what Nico can show.
Yeah, he's got to show us, mate.
Got to start doing something because, like I said, if it was me, I'll already have introduced him to the reserve grade coach. But you know what, a guy who's on $1 million, I guess you can't do that.
Yeah, true.
But he'll be playing at 2:00 at some park.
Who you tipping the Sharks?
Sharks.
So Tanya's the only one got the Cowboys.
She's the only one with Cowboys. The next story the next game we've got is the Raiders up against the Broncos Saturday night. Finishes off the Saturday. Ricky's Wooden Spooners up against Maguire's High Flyers. Should be an interesting game. Raiders have only won 1 of the last 4. Raiders are missing Tapanay and Xavier Savage.
I was
both
just going to
suspended.
say, I've got to rub my eyes here. Tanya tipped the Raiders.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
What? What's
Wow.
wrong with you, T?
Reverse jinx.
Reverse jinx.
Reverse
Tanya
jinx,
has
man.
tipped the Raiders.
She's playing mind games with us.
Yeah, it might be a
She's
playing
it might
mind
be one of
games.
those consolation tips.
Mate.
Well, you don't mind if you lose it because
Yeah.
your team wins.
Mind
If your
games.
team loses, at least you got the tip.
Mm.
I don't know. I can't speak for her, but I'll definitely ask her tomorrow.
That is an interesting one. But, you know, if Tapane and Savage were playing, it would have been so much of a better game. Just they're missing two crucial players.
Especially Tapane.
Exactly. Up against Huss, it would have been fantastic, those two. We've got Papali'i up against Huss. I'm sure he'll give him a good run. But some matchups for you, George. You've got the young Hudson Young versus Jordan Ricky.
Oh, I can't wait.
Fogarty up against Reynolds, the two old fellas.
Can't wait.
And then you've got Weeks up against Walsh,
Oh, can't wait.
the
can't
fullbacks.
wait.
So I think the points will go.
You know what? The Broncos will win here, but Ricky's teams,
Yeah.
they don't lie over.
Yeah.
They're going to give it everything. It's going to be a physical encounter. It's going to get the game's going to get away from them by the end of the game. But let me tell you, Broncos will be flying back on the plane, hurting bad.
I think so too, mate. Yeah, for sure.
I know this is a game that can't wait to watch. Wholly anticipated. It was Saturday night, 7:30. Can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
Should be a great one. Sunday we start with, this is going to be an interesting game. Eels versus the Tigers.
Yeah.
Tough one to call. Battle of the West, Parramatta versus Campbelltown.
I've got to go the Tigers, to be honest. Just there's still so many players unavailable at Para, and
Yeah.
I didn't see enough to give me any kind of confidence
Yeah.
with either team. I mean, this could be the bludger of the round. I don't know.
Well, you've got the new boy Riles up against the one-year veteran Benji. So battle of the coaches there. Should be interesting. Not much out. Coruscant and Buller are back for the Tigers.
Yeah.
That's going to be a massive in for the Tigers.
I think Sean Lane's back. Madison and Cartwright's still missing.
Sure, Lane's back, is he?
Yeah, there's also another 2 NRL debuts. So he swung the axe.
He's got a couple of youngsters in.
So there's another 2 NRL debuts. So he's not shy about. He said it in the press conference. He goes, the only way these kids get experience is by playing.
First grade.
So-
What do you think of the youngster? What do you think of Lomax's first game at Para?
Well, he didn't get much of a chance to do anything. They're on the back foot the whole time. And the Tigers have Doreen Buller and Appy Coruscant coming back. That's 2 huge inclusions.
Yeah, it is.
I'll go with the Tigers in this one. Tanya's gone to Eels.
Loyal. She's loyal. Loyal. You know, Artie, I actually forgot to mention in the West Tigers wrap-up Skelton.
He was great. Yeah.
Canterbury Junior, they did not want to let him go. He left underneath their nose, and he proved that he's a good meter muncher. Exactly what they needed. If they can get a little bit more out of Taruva this week, because he wasn't involved, and now with the inclusion of Buller and Appy, West are looking for their first victory, and once they get that first victory, their mindset will change because they're still coming off last year's losses. I still believe mentally, and I'm afraid that it might be this week. I'm afraid it might.
So you're tipping Tigers?
Yeah, I'm tipping Tigers. I went down this list, Nicola, and I don't know a lot of these names.
Well, that's why I said I'm tipping him as well.
And that's why I'm doing it. I don't know a lot of these names, and good for Riles doing it, because the only way they're going to get experience is by playing. But it just might be a tough season. That's all. But anyway, we go on.
Yeah. And the final game, mate, it's at Belmore. Desi is back. Desi goes back to Belmore. It's the Bulldogs up against the Titans. Actually, I think this might be the game of the season, of the week.
For me, it's hard to go against
It's going to be a tough one. Both good teams.
We haven't seen the Titans yet.
We haven't seen the Titans, but they've bought
and they've had to relocate to Sydney as well.
Yes, that's another thing. But they've bought well. They've got the massive front row, which is going to make it tough for the Bulldogs. They're going to absolutely smash them through the middle. But the Bulldogs, they won't sit back, mate. Last time they played at Belmore, the Dogs won 32-0, so it was pretty comfortable. Won 3 of the last 4 at Belmore, the Dogs, so their record's good. I'm leaning towards the Bulldogs only because Titans haven't played. It's their first game. They might be a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go towards the. They're getting Curran back as well this week.
Yeah. Are they? Oh.
I've got the Bulldogs.
You got the Bulldogs.
Tanya's got the Titans.
What do you got? What do you got for matches for us, Adi?
Matches for that one is Burton up against AJ Brimson.
Yeah.
Big Tino versus Kickow. Sexton up against Campbell. Jaden Campbell. Now, Sexton was from the Titans, so he's going to be one out there to prove.
You know,
What's the story with Sexton? I like him. I thought he
Okay.
played really well against the
he did,
Dragons.
and I
he
did.
goes into the line.
What I like about Sexton is that he does this run that squares up the defense. He has a run that's really close to the ruck, takes the ball, which what happens is he puts the A's and B's in cement. They have to stop, okay? Then the last minute, he passes to Burton. What happens is that most of the line is on outside shoulders because he's running straight and he does a beautiful little straight, hard, close run to the ruck. So he puts everybody on the insides and the outsides. So they stop to get him and he passes. And it's a beautiful little play.
But Bulldogs haven't signed him, re-signed him. He's out. He's free at the end of the year.
You know what? If they
Parramatta might get him. Mate. There you go, another guy.
If they think, I know what they think. They think Mitchell Wood is going to be ready next year off an ACL this year. Okay, they've got another thing coming. He's a 17-year-old little boy, and he won't be ready for first grade for another 3 years. I'm telling you now, they're going to get it wrong. They're going to burn this kid. They're going to burn him. But anyway, I hope they're not thinking that. I saw enough. I saw enough from the Dogs to say that they're going to win. But you know what? The Titans, they can put points on and put points on quick with this back line. So I don't know, but Dogs to win, Artie.
So 3 Dogs and 1 Titan.
Yep.
Tanya's gone Titans. Yep. Tanya's gone against us for a lot of them actually. So
And the Storm have the bye.
And the Storm have the bye. That's it.
Like they need it.
Like they need
Game 2, eh?
So that's all for me, guys. What do you have? You got some Super League for us?
I'll go for the Super League, yeah. Just some of the results for the Super League. We had the Wigan Warriors beating the Huddersfield 44-18. Good win by the Wigan Warriors. Warrington Wolves 16, losing to Trinity 30. George, what happened there? What happened there?
You know what? Trinity is a good team.
Really? Where'd they come from? Last year they were
in second division last year, or League One they call it. They got dropped off. They came back up, and it's a real rugby league town. And I watched the game. They were good.
They've got no Aussies. No, they've got no foreigners. It's just all English local players.
And they're just a hard-working team.
Wow.
So, and who they beat? They beat Sam's team, didn't
They beat Warrington Wolves 30-16.
Sam's team, when they've come back, they've played twice now, I think. They're just a bit off.
Bit off?
They're a bit off.
Your favourite, mate, Catalan. There, 11. The Leeds Rhinos, 0.
Okay, so
Brad Arthur's team.
Yeah, I saw that game, and the score is very deceiving. I actually think Leeds played better.
Yeah.
But Catalans just scored 2 tries. But Leeds just played better. And don't forget that Leeds, really on paper, they're not much chop. So Brad is really overachieving with his rugby league team.
Yeah.
He really is. He's doing a great job there.
Fair enough. St Helens 10, Hull Kingston Rovers 20 was the other game. St Helens they won the first few games. This is their first loss.
It's the first time they played a team which is in a window, and it showed.
Yeah.
They're a little bit, at this moment, it's a long season. At the moment, they're just a little bit off the pace they looked a little bit off, but let's get to the back end of the year. Let's see what happens. But Hull, they look good. They look the goods.
I'd say that would be Tanya's favourite team, St Helens. It's got Cole Felt in it.
No, really, that's her team. That's her team.
Hull FC, I like that team too. They're my favourite, so we've both got a team there. Tristan Sailors and St Helens. Hull FC, 22. The Lee Leopards, the team with the ugliest jerseys in the world, 22. So draw.
Yeah, and
do they have extra golden points?
Yes, and they still got a draw.
Oh wow!
It was amazing, and the Lee Leopards are doing really well. And the next coach off the rank, if it's not going to be the Wigan coach, Pete's. The Hull coach, which is Pete's. Mate, I'm telling you now, Lamb is with nothing really. He's doing a good job. There
you go. And to close it off, mate, we had Castleford 22 defeated Salford 14. And that's all I've got, guys, on the Super League. For the ladder, let me just go into the ladder. We've got who we got for Hull Kingston Rovers, the only team undefeated on 8 points. The Lee Leopards on 7, and then you've got St Helens and Warriors on the 6. That's the top 4 for the English Super League. Up to you, George.
Yeah, Nicola, I'm reintroducing my tidbit segment. And I was always intrigued when a player got a HIA test, and they would run into the tunnel there into the dressing room, and then we hear that he's failed his HIA test. I'm thinking, what did he do? How did he fail it? Well, I got my hands on the questions.
Oh wow!
That they ask. Well, it's two parts. There's a movement part of it.
Yeah.
And then this is the big one, the actual
questions.
The question part, which is see if the faculty is in check. And I'm going to test Adi.
Oh what?
I'm going to test Adi.
Wow.
If his brain's all there.
I don't think it is, man. I'll fail it.
Let's see. Now you're a St George player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dragons player. Yeah.
You're a Dragons player, and you're just playing the Bulldogs, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I'll give you a pass on some of the things because they're a couple of days ago, so you'll get it. Okay. So this is the first questions they ask you when you go in. What day is it?
So it's the day of the game.
Yep,
So
Saturday.
Game.
Saturday. Okay. What month?
Really? I've got to think about it. Can you believe it?
I know.
March.
March.
Answer it as if it's today.
Yeah.
Make it easier, right?
March.
If you want to do it, yeah. What venue are you at?
Cogra.
Cogra, yeah. Who scored the last
Do they have to be precise? What if they have to name the exact stadium? Nestra Stadium, whatever it is.
I don't know. Who scored the last try?
Who scored the last try?
Yep. Of the game.
Tupolotto?
It was Tupolotto, yeah. It was.
There
But let's say it's good. It's good. What team did you play last week?
Well, no game because it was round one.
Okay, Charity Shield, let's say. Okay.
Oh, the Charity Shield
Okay.
versus South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you win?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Remember these 10 words. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Remember these 10 words,
Memory.
Roddy? Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble, paper,
I'm really lost.
I can't remember that now.
sugar, sandwich, wagon, TV. Okay. Recite the months backwards.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's what this is the HI test. This is
Mate, all I know is
I
TV.
guarantee
the
you.
guy asking the questions wouldn't be able to answer that.
I
TV.
failed every time.
Oh, forget it.
Okay.
TV, sandwich.
No. Recite the months backwards. The month.
Oh, the months.
Yeah, December.
Oh, December, November, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March, February, January.
Okay, good boy. Okay, recite these numbers backwards. 4, 3, 9.
Backwards.
Yeah.
9, 3, 4.
That's right. 3, 8, 1, 4.
4, 1, 3, 8. God.
We're talking about rugby league players here, not
you're
uni
joking,
students.
man.
This
This
is
is
it.
crazy, man.
This is it.
This is crazy. How long does it go? More questions.
A little bit more.
Oh, wow.
So they do another number recite.
So these guys just come off the field, right? They just
Yep.
finish the game.
This is the
and they're
actual.
getting asked these
This
questions.
is I can guarantee you who gave it to me. This is the actual.
Oh, wow.
HI test. Okay. Well, they do 2 more numbers. Okay. Then they say, give me 8 words. The ones we talked about. Give me 8.
Oh,
words.
8 words of the
Out
ones that we spoke
Out
about.
of 10. Yeah.
TV, sandwich, elbow,
Yep.
apple.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yep.
There you go. I've already lost them. Trust me. I've lost.
It's absurd.
I know. I can't
Well,
think.
guess what? You failed.
I
you
failed
can't go
HI.
back on.
Shit. Damn it.
So
So I won't be in the next pod?
you're not on the next one. So that is.
You got to sit out 1 week.
1 week pod.
11 days.
Fair enough.
So that is genuinely, that is, I know I didn't pass. I don't know with Costa, I didn't pass it once.
No way.
That is the HI test. There's 2 parts of it. This is the second part of it. There's a movement part of it. Some
Jeez.
movement part. And then they ask you these questions. So, and if you get 3 wrong, you failed.
Wow.
So, yeah. That's.
So I only got 1 wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, you won. You
Oh, so I would've passed
you,
HI.
you didn't get the thing. You have to get.
Oh, the numbers too. Yeah, didn't all do all the numbers. Yeah.
You got to
Okay.
get 8, and you got to get 8 of the words.
Fail. Oh, wow.
I'll fail every time.
Jeez.
I can't read. All right.
Scary. Scary.
And that's me, Nicola.
All right. Well,
That's
that's
me.
it. That wraps up episode 3 of season 3.
The song of the week.
Are we going to have a song?
No song this week. Next week we'll start the song of the weeks, and it's one hit wonders.
Okay.
They're going to be how I'm going to do it is I'm going to play the start of the song, and you guys can work out what song it is.
Okay.
And the one hit wonders. They're humongous hits, so I'm pretty confident you will pick them every
Can't
week.
touch this.
Can't touch this, but yep, that'll probably be one of them. I've got a few of them in mind.
Will that be our HIA?
That will be a
That
HIA.
will be
That
our
will be
HIA.
that will be our HIA test, Artie.
Jeez.
So again, that's me.
All right. Well, that's us. So once again, just another reminder, our thoughts even go out to everyone in Queensland. I hope everyone's doing okay considering everything that you're going through. And we hope you have a great week and enjoy the weekend in footy, and we'll see you all next week.
Happy Rugby League,
Happy
everybody.
Rugby League,
Enjoy.
everybody. See you next
Good night.
week.
See ya.